All right, this is Evan Tyler for my marketing vignette number two, marketing concepts winter 2025. And this time around, we're going to talk about Nike and a little bit how they've done their segmentation over the years. So Nike, what was originally founded, it was called called Blue Ribbon Sports. The founders at the time were long distance runners. That was the niche that they wanted to serve. And so they went in, they did their segmentation mostly just from using their expertise of knowing what they could build a product to serve long distance runners. And really, they were incredibly successful. In the 70s, Nike was like one of the number one shoe brands that was used by marathon runners in the 70s, and that's ultimately what kind of helped their brand take off, was using that segment of the market. As the brand developed, they obviously had limited resources and kind of forced them to do segmentation just because they could only put their resources towards specific areas. And one of those market segments they put a lot of time, effort, and money into was women's sports and women in general as a segment market. There was all this research that women were in fact more likely to spend money, 40% on sports apparel over men. And so they went on and they, during that time frame, put a bunch of money into developing products for women. As time went on, they continued to reevaluate their market segmentation. In the early 2000s, I guess it was 2002, during the World Cup, they reevaluated again because they saw that there was a high need for soccer apparel and shoes in the Korean and Japanese markets. And so they reevaluated, put time, money, and resources into the Korean and Japanese markets, and so on and so forth. This continues throughout their history and their development of the company up to the present day. They're constantly evaluating their market segmentation to make sure they're reaching the markets that have a high demand and that it's worth putting the time and money into. So obviously, Nike is a very successful brand. They're one of the largest shoe producers for sports shoes in the world. As far as recommendations for what they have doing moving forward is, I think, market segmentation specifically. One of the largest, fastest growing markets in the U.S. is the Asian American population. And not only is it one of the fastest growing markets, it's one of the most affluent. It is much more affluent than the average American today. And so I think that something that would be wise for them is to figure out how they could find their way into the Asian American market. Excuse me. Because it's I think they're leaving money on the table. That's a market that has a obviously huge growth rate, lots of consumers, and just they're more affluent and more disposable income willing to spend. Other interesting recommendations that I have is I have wondered, you get on like the Nike website, and this is true for a lot of websites, and it's overwhelming with how much they have, the different products, the different sports categories you can look into. And so I had wondered whether these companies could start to use more AI and some of the things like we discussed in voice catchers, individual information on people, in order to customize a website so that every single person who goes to the website sees something different because they see the website customized towards what they want to see. And then when I get on Nike, I don't have to waste a bunch of time sifting through the website to try and find what I want to find. It just automatically, using AI, generates a website that is most useful for what I'm looking at or looking to purchase. There's certainly a lot of other products I think I could recommend to Nike, but they also have developed a niche and to what they serve. Like specifically, they're the sports world, and so it's like I wonder if they're leaving money on the table because they're not serving markets like in the outdoor realm. They don't really make like an outdoor hiking shoe like uh, REI does or whatever. And so I certainly wonder about their product diversification, but I think overall they have what they do is very good, and maybe they're just best to continue down those product lines and work more on targeting other markets like the Asian Americans, and then using their websites and AI to try and get more people from that shopping stage to the buying stage. Thanks.